Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Borough of Englewood Cliffs Mayor and Council regular meeting. It's February 14, 2018. It's 8:47 p.m. Madam Clerk, can I have a roll call, please? Actually, let's do the flag salute. Everybody, please stand for the flag salute and remain standing after. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a couple of moments of silence. First moment of silence is for the victims and their families of the shootings in South Florida today. Thank you. The second moment of silence that we will observe are for some of our residents and friends who have passed in the recent past couple of weeks or months. Mary Nigerian, Robert Burke, James Mitchell, Carol Strauss, and former Englewood Cliffs Police Department Lieutenant Hoffmeister. Thank you, everyone. Madam Clerk, can we have the roll call?
Mayor Kranjak,
Here.
Councilpersons Aversa, E. Park,
Here.
O.
Here.
McMorrow,
Here.
M. Park,
Here.
Wu,
Here.
Borough Attorney,
Present.
Municipal Clerk. Everyone's present, Mayor.
Thank you. Would you please also read the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Adequate notice of this meeting was given to the press and posted as required. Date and time of this meeting was legally given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. This notice is on file with the municipal clerk and posted on the bulletin board. Minutes of this meeting will be made available to the public upon the completion of typing and proofreading by the municipal clerk.
Thank you. I just want to also mention that with the sadness and the moments of silence that we just observed, we also had some joy tonight at the caucus early on this evening. We observed and paid tribute and sang happy birthday to a local resident, Catherine Ladagny, who turned 100 years old on February 12th. So we congratulated her, and she said she was too busy to stay for the regular meeting, and she had to go out and leave. So we're not sure where she went, but I hope she's having fun. So that was very nice. We also have minutes to approve: the reorganization from January 1st, 2018, the caucus and regular January 10th meeting, 2018, and a special meeting of January 18th, 2018. All council members should have received a copy, and I just need somebody to move those in and approve them.
Second.
Councilpersons Aversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorrow?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Wu.
Yes.
There was one item of correspondence which is listed there. Before we open to the public, I just want to bring you up to date on a few things, because when we get to new business, a lot of people leave by then, and it's already late. So I just want to let you know that some good things happening recently. Yesterday, I attended the opening of Unilever's 700 Sylvan Avenue grand reopening. They've created a very nice workspace there. It's what they refer to as agile workspace, which means that there's more people in one building and fewer offices. So a lot of people who spent their careers working up towards a corner office are now sitting in open space. That came out wonderfully, and they offered me Ben & Jerry's early in the morning, but Nancy was with me and she said I could not have ice cream that early, so I did not do it. I thank them on behalf of the borough for supporting our events here. They always donate food products, and I didn't realize that they have over 400 brands of products, but it's a tremendous company, and we're very fortunate to have them here at 700 Sylvan. I told them that the two best days of being mayor are when you get to read Dr. Seuss to school children and when you get to dedicate and open new businesses and buildings. So we had a good morning yesterday. If you noticed outside when you walk in, there's a collection table for the Office of Concern Food Pantry in Englewood, trying to institute a program where people who attend our meetings could be generous and donate non-perishable food items that get distributed to the poor in Bergen County. And I think that's something that we're going to try to continue. I haven't seen it out there. I donated a few items myself, so I'm hoping people donated this evening. I thank you if you did, and in the future, please do so. We'll try to do that every meeting, and the next morning, tomorrow morning, somebody from the Office of Concern will come up and pick up those food products. Just to update you, as you know, or I don't know if you all know this, but at the end of the year, the PBA contract expires, and we decided we would try to start working with the PBA to negotiate the next contract early on. So what I've asked the PBA is to meet with us once a month. We met in January, and we met again this morning, to just create a dialogue about the contract and whatever other concerns they have with their representatives. And it's been a very nice dialogue so far, and I look forward to continuing that very worthwhile dialogue with them. So there's just one more thing that I want to address early on, before we open to the public, as this kind of came up recently, and I want to read a prepared statement. And it involves a litigation that the borough is involved in. The borough is being sued by our chief of police, and I'll just tell you a couple of developments here, and you could digest those, and we'll deal with things accordingly. So, number one, in a litigation in which our chief of police is suing the borough and others, his attorneys have produced over 120 audio tapes, which the chief either made or had in his possession, of conversations between him and borough employees, borough council members, me, the mayor, sometimes with himself, and I believe others. While I have not listened to these tapes personally because of litigation constraints, other attorneys have. And we are trying to remove those constraints so that we could all listen to them. And it's according to a letter sent to the court by my attorneys, including in those tapes are also sounds without conversations. These sounds include toilets or urinals, we're not sure which yet, flushing, and dead air. We also do not know if the flushing is in a men's room or in a women's room. Number three, it is unclear if the chief made all these recordings while on duty, if he used borough equipment, where the recordings were made, if they were edited, and if other employees on or off duty assisted him. I, as mayor and as an individual, take the safety and privacy of all the borough's employees as a very serious and paramount matter, and one that goes to the very core of my administration. I expect all my department heads to do the same. Number five, while we cannot now ascertain the answers to all the questions I raised, we are now on notice that recordings were made of toilets flushing by our chief of police. And we need to take every necessary or appropriate step to ensure that the privacy of our employees and elected officials are safeguarded when they use borough bathrooms and restrooms. We do not know if the toilet flushing recording was that of a men's room or a women's room, as I mentioned, or if the chief was present when the recordings were made, or if they were made remotely. Number six, based on the foregoing, I'm asking the council to authorize a thorough investigation. Number seven, while I never record conversations, and I am not pleased that the chief is recording many of his conversations with all of us, with all of you, that is something that he has chosen to do. It's unsavory, wasteful of borough time and resources, and kind of creepy when I think about it. However, no one, including the chief, is permitted to record people using borough restrooms. Number eight, I have always said that I am willing to work with anyone who is willing to work with me, and clearly the chief has not been willing to do so. I encourage the chief to reflect on what he has done. I'm signing off with all rights and further action reserved. Okay, can I have a motion to open to the public? Or actually, our
Not yet.
Borough Council wants to say something regarding
Hold on.
the resolution.
For members of the public, as I already advised the council during the caucus, there is a change with respect to Resolution 18-46. This was to appoint new litigation counsel for the borough with respect to the matter of Park versus the borough. That's all. Okay. And because we did not get, we only got 2 responses to the RFQ, and both of those firms are unable to be appointed, I am asking the mayor to allow a change to this resolution, to authorize the borough administrator to appoint an attorney to represent the borough in the subject litigation under the same terms and conditions as already stated here with respect to the hourly rate, the not to exceed, and going forward with the contract, and then that appointment would then be dealt with by the council at the next council meeting.
Which litigation is that? The Allen Park?
Ellen Park versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs. So
Okay.
that's the amendment. The resolution will come up during the resolution part of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, everybody clear on that? Can I have a motion to open up to the public, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If there's anyone from the public who wishes to be heard, please raise your hand. Wait till I recognize you. Come up. There's a microphone right here on the table. You can just come through the door here and just let us know what you have to say. State your name and address as well. Anybody? Yes. Yeah, it's a tricky door. Sorry.
Hi, my name is So Young Lee, and I live at 195 Pershing Road, and I'm here to ask the mayor and council members to consider how to control the car traffic on Pershing Road coming from out of town, especially Tenafly, because it's getting really out of control. I understand there is a laser sign on Pershing Road, which beams if the speed goes above, I think, 35. But that alone, I mean, that's helpful, but it doesn't help enough to control traffic, through traffic. And I actually have been in touch with Carol about, I sent her what Leonia did in terms of banning out-of-town cars. I mean, we have to do something about that through traffic control, through traffic. Otherwise, residents on Pershing Road, and I think to a lesser extent, Demarest Street, not Demarest, Chestnut, they are exposed to this unnecessary danger. Their speed is like 40 miles per hour, technically, and I do not let my kids outside without adult supervision because it is too dangerous. So either there should be some speed bumps or some sort of drastic measure to prohibit out-of-town people come through those roads during rush hour, because that's really when the cars come mostly. So I would like to suggest borough members and mayor to do something about it, because I moved to my house about 7-8 years ago, and I actually can show you pictures of cars. It takes time to get out of my house to drop off my kids, and that's not what our residential street should be. There should be some sort of control over how our roads can be used by out-of-town people.
Right, so we had asked the police department to conduct a traffic study, and they did so, and they concluded that they would try to step up enforcement on Pershing as the best solution right now to see if it works, and try to enforce the speed. We can't shut the road down for different reasons. That's what their conclusion was also. Carol, did you get that?
I got that. She forwarded her concerns to me, and I sent it to Catherine, and then they forwarded it to the police department. I totally sympathize with the residents on Pershing, and I know Mr. Morfessis is sitting there. My mother-in-law used to live on John Street, and they have a very, very similar situation on John Street, and they just race down that street, and I cannot tell you how many times Tony and I have had this conversation, that I almost got run over by a car just walking out of her driveway to get to my car. I don't know what the answer is. I think that we need to take these concerns very seriously, and we need to come up with solutions to address them before someone gets hurt.
Yeah, I don't recall, were speed bumps mentioned in that report?
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I don't remember,
I don't know.
but we'll follow up on this.
Yeah, that would be great, because I think it's more, urgent matter for residents between like on Pershing Road, but between Summit and Woodland.
Right.
Because they come and they make a right onto
They
Summit.
fly down.
Right, and, I think there should be some sort of measurement, like, I mean, I would appreciate, police officers, stronger enforcement, but, I think we need, like, more, because there can be a police officer all the time there, so there should be some sort of, restrictions, like speed bumps, and so that people have less incentive to drive through. They just should take either East Clinton or like Palisades, which are designed to serve that kind of traffic, not Pershing Road.
Right.
I mean, I make a left onto Woodland when I drop my kids. It takes me literally 3 minutes in order to be able to make a left onto Woodland from Pershing, because there is so much traffic coming out of Woodland onto Pershing. I mean, it's really getting the point of I waited here because I want to tell you how bad it is, and I would like you to consider a pretty firm measurement to control the traffic. So if you can look into putting up speed bumps, that would be, I think, helpful, because people need to reduce their speed in order to protect their car. So I think that's really the only thing we can do at this point, if you are not willing to ban out-of-town drivers go through Pershing Road.
Right.
I think we can refer
Yeah.
to the police committee to take another stronger look and
will do
meet
that.
with the traffic department.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening. Tony Morfessis, 26 John Street, Englewood Cliffs. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I'm glad the young lady was speaking about the traffic, because we all have that problem. I'd like to thank the council for doing a survey on John Street and having the police department checking how many cars go up and down. But there's a problem with that. Nobody passes a light with a police officer sitting on the corner counting cars, nor with a police officer sitting in the deli watching cars going back and forth, or another police officer sitting at the firehouse watching them. So the problem still exists. That's number one. Number two, there's a car that constantly parks on John Street to take the bus, and it's a resident of Englewood Cliffs, and the police department can't do anything about it, and it's causing a problem vis-a-vis the deli. It's a small little blue car, it constantly parks there. They asked the police, they can't do anything because the person really doesn't live in town, but the mother lives in town, and she has a problem with a house in Brooklyn or whatever, and she parks there, and there's designated parking for park and ride. And it's only because I don't want to complain about the deli parking, because bad enough the guy's not doing business. I don't want to kill his business completely. But by hook parking, it causes a headache. So if something can be done with that, that would be nice. Third problem I have. Miss Catherine told me at the last meeting that by working on the Lions Club, they could not give a check back to the insurance company. And that's why they were doing repairs. I did an Oprah. And not only was there no insurance money coming to the town didn't have to sign off for anything. I saw that in September, the one permit that was given was for renovations of kitchens, walls, ceilings. And that was done by, Mr. Shibashino's company. And there was no permit for the roof repairs. And there was no, God bless you, whoever it is. And there was no proof, of any check given to the town to sign.
I don't think he said that, Tony.
No,
Yes, she said they had to give they didn't
got
want
it
to give
from
the
their own.
check back to the insurance
It was
company.
payable to them.
To them, yeah.
It had nothing to do with the
Excuse
borough.
me. The town owns the property.
Yes.
The check should have been made out to the town and to them. That's the way, if you look at your insurance policy, the town is a beneficiary on the bottom. Borough of Englewood Cliffs. That's how the check had to come.
Well,
I don't have the
I was
Lions
not
Club
told of
policy.
that.
Okay, well, anyway.
they got the
We'll
check.
take a look.
That's all I
I'm
know.
not really concerned about it, but what I want to know is the following. If we don't care about it, and we're not going to do anything with that property and give it to the Lions Club, just be honest. Just say straight, this is what we want to do, we're going to give a lease, and this is what we agreed to. We're all big people, I can understand that. I have no problem with that.
Mayor,
We got to the
we're in
resolution.
litigation right now, we can't...
Okay, I'm not going to talk about that, so don't. The second thing is,
Okay.
I took pictures this week of the Chaffee property up on the south side. There's still cars there. I'm gonna give you this, it looks like a junkyard. And after reviewing the zoning laws and whatnot, there can be no cars outside of the commercial property that's paved. You can't have cars in the backyard. And the buildings cannot be boarded up the way they're boarded up unless the council turns around and changes the law. Because the law says you can't do it. So I really don't understand why we have to look at a blight. Let them put windows, let them paint the buildings, and keep them like that. Or let them knock down the buildings, whatever his pleasure is. I have no argument with what the man wants to do, but don't make it a blight on the town.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about it, and I mean, it's not fair for the people there either.
I agree with you. And I keep asking that it be dealt with.
But it's 6 months,
I know.
Mayor, 6, 7 months. Well, give him summonses then. Let him,
He's been fined. Yeah.
Mayor,
Well,
it's just not right. It's not right for the rest of the people in this town. When somebody does something and the building inspector comes over and says to them, do something, and they do it.
I agree with you.
It's just not right.
We'll make the call again in the morning.
Pardon me?
We'll make the call again in the morning.
No, it's not just a point. In other words, then you have to do something, you have to do something. You just can't say to the guy, hey,
Your points are all valid with respect to that property.
well, believe me, I mean, it's just not right for and especially for the people there. It's just not right. Anyway, sorry for being a pain in the ass. Everybody should have a great Valentine's Day. That's what I had to say.
And he's wearing red.
You want the pictures?
I'll scan it to all of them.
No, it's yours.
You can leave it there.
I'll get it. You guys have a nice night.
Thank you.
Tom.
Anybody else wishing to do it? Yes, sir.
Mayor, President, council members, my name is Ted Strange. My address is 6 Jeffrey Court, Otisville, that's upstate New York.
What's your last name?
you tell me your name again for the record?
Ted Lestrange, I do have it written on here.
yesterday.
Yes,
Better
sir.
than that.
6 Jeffrey Court, Otisville, upstate New York. I don't have good news, and it's not about local issues. And in fact, I call this genocide by scalpel, because that's a title given by one of the investigators into forced organ harvesting in China. Their updated research concludes that China's hospitals transplant between 60,000 and 100,000 vital human body organs each year. But China has no real organ donation program. Here in the U.S., with the most sophisticated organ transplant system in the world, a patient can wait up to 3 years for a matching organ to become available. In China, however, the waiting time is measured in weeks. An organ transplant tourist to China, including one from this borough, can arrange a specific date for their operation, which effectively means that someone to be killed on their behalf on that date. It's a cultural taboo to donate one's organs after death in China. So what's the source of these organs? The translation of these facts equates to tens of thousands of prisoners of conscience each year being killed for their organs. Most of these prisoners of conscience
Speak a little louder, please. Thank you.
Most of these prisoners of conscience are Falun Gong practitioners, but also Tibetans, Uyghurs, and House Christians. They are routinely blood tested and their organs examined while held in China's forced labor camps, detention centers, and black jails. A 1984 regulation, ironically, decrees that they and their organs become the property of the state. On June 13, 2016, the U.S. House of Representatives unanimously passed Resolution 343, which in its summary section, quote, condemns the practice of state-sanctioned forced organ harvesting in China, close quote. The European Parliament has also passed similar regulations. This has been happening for over 18 years, and still a deathly silence on this issue, and that is why I come before you, the elected and respected representatives of the community, to work at the heavy burden of this genocide as acknowledged by the House. China's total control of its own media and way beyond. So it comes down to this type of word of mouth to just divulge what's happening. Many dedicated researchers have gathered an enormous amount of data from current and archived hospital websites, medical journals, local media reports, telephone surveys, and other evidence for the 865 hospitals in China that have performed these organ transplants. So books are now being written and documentaries have been produced with more comprehensive information. So I brought this package for your kind attention. And thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll distribute it. You can leave it there. I'll distribute it. Thank you, sir.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Anybody else wishing to be heard? Yes.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
In Norton, I'm Willow Drive in Wood Cliffs. A couple things. I think the first, I would really ask you to leave your vendetta with the chief in executive session. It's not becoming of the office of mayor, and I really don't think you should bring it out here, because I think it really does show that it's a vendetta and not necessarily a response to a court case, because you had really good news at court cases, which I think you probably wanted to talk about, or maybe you'll talk about it later, but it would have been much better off in first session, which is the extension of affordable housing immunity to April 30th. That's really good news.
I'll be giving that report under my
Okay,
committee
but that
report.
really would have been nice to hear in the beginning instead of the negativity. The ordinance, oh yeah, this one I found quite interesting. I've never seen a suspension of an ordinance or provisions of an ordinance. I mean, I went through the codes. I have 40:49-4, which is the revision and codification. And I went through 40:49-2, which talks about ordinances. And I'd like if you, the attorney, and you, the clerk, could tell me where I could find some sort of a provision that allows for suspension of an ordinance.
I can't answer that. It had nothing to do with the resolution. That was provided to me by the borough attorney.
Okay,
You want me to answer or not?
so to the best of your knowledge, is there a provision that allows for suspension without a revision, without going through the whole ordinance process?
I can't give an opinion on that.
The Borough Council will discuss it.
So there is no provision that disallows it, and there is no provision that allows it. That's all I'm going to say, because there is pending litigation about it.
So technically,
No, technically, that's the answer.
okay.
Thank you.
So that is always a question, because we do seem to make up our own laws here. Okay, snowstorms. You know, we were talking about the walking path last time, and you kindly suggested to Mark that it be salted. Well, we did have one fundamental problem: it wasn't plowed. So salting wasn't going to help, and I think it's a real benefit to the public to have the walking path paved after snowstorms, because the roads are not safe. So it would...
Paved? No, not paved. Plowed.
Paved,
Plowed.
plowed.
Okay, yeah.
Plowed, that would be really helpful, because it wasn't plowed.
I agree
and it
with
wasn't
you. I'll make
salted,
sure
so
that...
that would be helpful.
I'll relay that to Mark.
Also, I got a letter from Verizon Fios saying that it's actually going to come soon. Have you heard anything about that? Has anyone on the council been made aware of that? Any dates, or have they notified you?
I think they notified Catherine, who's not here right now, but I've heard that that's a good possibility, and that will take care of your other problem.
Yeah, just wondering if we have a date for that, because, you know, when you're trying to conduct some work, do some business at home, and you have no internet, it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, Ms. Duffy has an update.
We're trying to have a meeting set in place with Spectrum, and then hopefully with Verizon. And also, I had, day before yesterday, I had a peddler stop by the office, and that's what the peddler license. And he was going to go resident to resident to talk about Fios. And I said, you're aware that it's only on the south side? He goes, yes, we want to speak to everyone, including on the north side. I gave him the application, but he hasn't come back, so I couldn't really ask him any additional information. But I thought it was interesting that they were going to go door to door.
Because I know their state filing said something about August, but of course, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen with us in August. It just means that that's on their filing. Taxes, I brought that up the last time. So I'm sure you're aware that there is a bipartisan group of congressmen that are actually want to help New Jersey in the area of tax deductibility, and I guess they don't think about it as tax evasion. There must be enough people who are willing to consider helping out those who are unable to deduct their taxes. Also, I was going through some old minutes, and I saw that the claims were attached to those minutes back in 2013, like you're approving all these claims. Is it possible to do that again, so that you could see the list of claims just attached? That would be really helpful. Thank you very much.
But subject to council.
Have a good day.
Subject to borough administrator.
Yeah, is it something the council can vote on, or is it...
You mean uploaded on the website?
Just, where
They're part of the minutes.
They're part of the minutes.
Right, I will have them up there.
Great, thank you very much. Enjoy the day. Or evening, as the case may be.
I don't know what she told
She
you.
wants to itemize them. So just one number.
It's a list, right?
She wants to itemize. We have a number here. She wants to itemize.
It's a list, right? It's just a tap of a button, right?
Lauren Eastwood, 4 Willow Drive. I notice under new business, Councilwoman Gloria O's demand for 2 years of email communications written by 10 individuals. Having been subject to one of those kinds of Oprah requests for my emails concerning the Englewood Library, which were a grand total of about 6 months of emails, I can say that these broad Oprah requests are very burdensome. It took me all day to go through my emails and put together 6 months from the library, which did not generate a lot of emails. And then Lizette had to go through them because some of them involved a sensitive employee issue. I realize people want information, but I think people also need to be reasonable. I think they also need to play by the same rules they expect other people to play by. I note that Councilwoman O voted in favor of restricting my access to information when I was on the council, and I put in a request in October for certain emails of Councilwoman Parks, and as of today, I still don't have them.
I'd like to answer that. I think may I? I need to defend myself. I have a response to you that information was forwarded to the borough attorney for her guidance. I'm yet to receive a response.
Okay, because my last response was that I'd have them by November 17th.
I understand that, but back then I had provided it to the borough attorney to give guidance, and I haven't received any. Therefore, I have not responded to your Oprah.
I need to go back then.
Yeah, all right, she'll go back.
I'm gonna go back.
I also find it very disturbing that we have tape recordings of sounds that can only be heard in bathrooms. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a police chief. And I know that while I have broad rights in New Jersey to tape conversations to which I am a party, I also know that I have to stop taping in places where people have a reasonable expectation of privacy. And it seems to me it should be self-evident that a bathroom is one of those places. And I am concerned. Are there tape recorders set up that are just being activated when people go in rooms?
We're looking into that situation. I agree that people do have a reasonable expectation of privacy in certain places, bathrooms, locker rooms, things like that. Not sure what happened there. We got to find out. Yes.
Deborah Sabari, 106 Hollywood. Just a couple of questions regarding all the replacement of council. I was just wondering, I thought that the Geiger email over was settled. I thought that Ellen Park was settled. Is that not the case? Are we hearing?
There's some loose ends that have to be done, and council has to be replaced for reasons that I'm not going to state here in open public meeting.
Okay, so you can't state if they've been settled?
Oh, I'm
Or
sorry.
Is this just tying up the loose ends?
This is tying up the loose ends, that's correct. It's just the rest of the loose ends. Most things are just resolved, and whatever has to be resolved, that's why we need the council to do, a new council to do it.
Okay. I noticed that there's an ordinance posting a salary of $50,000 for the public safety director. I'm totally against the public safety director, but it also says, there's also resolutions to hire a public safety director, and it says part-time. So is this $50,000 for how many hours of employment? What exactly is part-time? If you in fact move ahead to hire.
That's what I said.
The 20 is for the, I think it's 20 hours.
No one knows that.
So Catherine is dealing with that aspect of it, but it is part-time, so we don't envision it being more than 20 hours or more than $50,000 a year.
And does that have any benefits attached to it, or is it just a flat $50,000?
No, there's no benefits.
Okay. And final, I just want to say, in regards to your opening statements regarding the police chief, you also said that you, in fact, didn't hear these tapes. And I don't think it's fair to the public even, forget about the chief, that you pick and choose which portions of your lawsuits you're going to make public. This is an active lawsuit. This is something that you've been privy to. You heard from somebody who heard the tapes. You did not.
My attorney, well, they were
Okay,
for
but your
attorney
attorney,
eyes
right?
only and ears
But
only.
we don't know.
No,
The other
we
side of that
do
is-
know. There's a letter
No,
that
we
went
don't.
out. You could Oprah the letter that's referenced there, and you'll understand.
Do you want me to Oprah a letter in regards to your lawsuit?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's the chief's lawsuit.
It's the chief's
The
lawsuit.
chief's lawsuit. Well,
And,
these
and,
make
and by the
sense.
way,
So
just to be clear,
He's getting information from his attorney.
Just to be clear.
In regards to this lawsuit.
those are the chief's tapes. The chief's tapes.
You know what? I don't know that.
Over 120. Well,
I
I
don't
do know
know
that
that.
for a fact.
But all you're telling us is one part of a lawsuit that we're not privy to. So all I'm saying
You don't
is,
think our employees
whether
are...
you're right or wrong.
Right.
You shouldn't be choosing just to give certain information and not all the information.
This
That's
is
all I'm saying.
information that rises to the level
I'm
of
sorry, did you
invasion
hear
of
the tapes?
privacy.
Did you hear the tapes? No, you
You
specifically
don't, so you
said
don't
did
care
not
about
hear
our
them.
employees, do you?
Of
I
course
do.
I care about
Well,
them.
then you should listen to what I'm
But I
saying.
didn't hear the tapes, and neither did you.
Well, we're trying to get them released to
So
you.
when you hear the tapes, then come talk.
Then nothing would make me happier than to put them all on the website so everyone can hear them.
That's good.
All right, anybody else? So I'm a champion of our employees, and I will defend them. Anybody else? Yes.
I'm Mary O'Shea, 12 Irving Avenue. I have to say, most of the people that were talking, I could hardly hear them because they never put the microphone near their mouth. And when you put it by your mouth, you can hear them. So, I hope you all can hear me, all right? A couple of things. I had to go back and forth through these things to find the page I was looking for. I have a big problem with anybody taping in the bathroom or in the building, and I know there's a sign out there right on the police desk that I noticed when I was in here last week, that says, "Nobody can tape or use cameras in the building without permission from the police chief." But the police chief is recording everybody else that's going to the bathroom, whether they're doing number one, number two, whatever they're doing, they're recording it, you know? I mean, it could be a loud and noisy recording, you know? It's not nice. It is revolting. It's really revolting. And I am ashamed that anybody working in this town has resorted to those types of tactics.
We're investigating it.
It's really bad, okay? And in lieu of that, I was reading the appointment here for the Public Safety Director, and I really think that situation highlights why we need a Public Safety Director. We need somebody to have things running correctly around here and not have this type of nonsense going on. I mean, you have to have somebody that has a straight line operation. And in that respect, in your resolution, if it's approved, you're only appointing the Public Safety Director till December 31st, 2018. I would have hoped that you would have given him a 5-year contract, okay, just like the Chief of Police got a contract, just like Mark Neville got a contract, back when, they thought they might be losing control. So I would hope that you would amend your resolution for the Public Safety Director and give him a longer contract so that the person who is put in the position can make substantial recommendations and changes and be able to implement them.
It's an annual contract, so let's see how things go. If
Okay,
it does
but-
get approved.
Okay, and then also, in the other, part of this, I can't find it now, where you're removing the, deputy chief's position from the table of organization. I'm really glad you're doing that, because I think that was said that the position was to be eliminated back, 2 years ago. And when you leave a position in there, ultimately, somebody fills it. And in the, here it is. In 1802, 2-13A, says hereby created in the Borough of Englewood Cliffs, a police department which shall consist
of no more than one police chief, okay, thank goodness, only one, 7 captains. 7 captains? I thought we only had 2 captains.
No more than.
It says 7 captains.
No more than.
Yeah, but why do you have to have...
Well, why do we have 7 in there? I remember being at a council meeting when Joe Parisi Jr. was a councilman, and his father was the mayor, and they wanted to change the ordinance for a lieutenant, okay? And they were going to increase it by 1. Instead of increasing it by 1, he increased it to 7 from whatever it was at. And the reason he said he did it, this way we don't have to come back and do this again. I believe that the numbers of officers should accurately reflect the people that you have in the position or the people that you desire to have in the position. 7 captains, outrageous. 10 lieutenants, outrageous. 10 sergeants, outrageous, and 20 patrol officers. Right now, if you took the chief, the captains, the lieutenants, and the sergeants, that would be your whole police force. Everybody would have a white shirt.
I agree with you, that those numbers should have been different. We're going to table that tonight. Those numbers should have been different. And I don't know what happened there.
I mean, that's,
I think it had a dovetail with a contractual obligation. We'll double-check that, but the numbers that I had understood would have been...
when Parisi Jr. increased it,
We agree.
they didn't do anything. They just, okay, yes, four.
No, you and I agree on this, so we're going to table that tonight and fix
Okay.
that.
Well, I really hope that you get the police director in and straighten this place out.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes. Yeah, we're going to table 18, that's fine.
Karen Geiger, 270 Alfred Street. I wasn't going to say anything, but I've sat here while you as mayor have talked about frivolous lawsuits, and tonight I heard the borough attorney say that the reason that we can suspend an ordinance was because there's no provision that says we can't, so we're going to do it. I'm paraphrasing you.
No,
Actually,
you're
you said,
misstating her, actually.
you said no provision that allows it, no provision that disallows it. Those were the words you used. Well, that's why you have so many lawsuits. You don't follow the law.
Okay, anybody else wishing to be heard? Can I have a motion to close public? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Let's turn to payment of claims. Can I have the Finance Committee Chair, Councilwoman Carol McMorro, speak to that?
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 1841, I move that the payment of claims, except for check 44473, be paid. This is something I think that came up before. I have to recuse from that check.
We do that separately.
I understand that, but I can't say the amount then. And so for this meeting, I'm going to leave the amount out, because I don't know the amount of check 44473. So I move that the payment of claims be made, except check 44473.
I second.
Thank you.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
I missed that part.
I have to recuse,
He
like,
has to recuse on,
check
number
44473.
44473. So we are going to have a second motion for that check separately. So, yes, okay, thank you. McMorro?
Yes.
And Park?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay, so we need a motion for check number 44473.
We know what that check is for, just so...
Who's the vendor? Do you remember?
Who's the vendor?
Yeah.
That you have to recuse from?
It's not a vendor, that's for the deputy chiefs.
Oh,
For
okay.
Medicare or something, I don't know.
That's right. It's
Medicare,
about,
yeah.
it's $1,600.
I don't even know. I didn't see it, I don't know.
It's not a lot.
It's okay, just, I move that.
Okay, second. Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park? Yes. O.
Yes.
McMorro?
Recuse.
And Park?
Yes.
And Wu?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. resolutions?
Yes, we're going to turn to the resolutions now. We're going to just,
1842, appointment of volunteer firefighter, Joshua, the mayor said?
Lajanovic.
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
Ho? Yes. McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
1843, removing Brian Turnbull as volunteer firefighter.
Point of order, Mayor?
Yes.
Just because he didn't, he moved...
Yeah, let me further explain that. So the two that are up, it's Brian Turnbull and Pierre Trout. They're both college students, and when they're home, they haven't responded to any calls. The deputy chief has sent numerous letters. I'm sorry, the fire chief has sent numerous letters and no response. So this is the course of action. Nothing that they did wrong. There's no LoSAP payments, nothing has been made.
I reviewed it with the secretary for the fire department, and I wrote those resolutions based on the information provided.
We need a motion?
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park.
Yes.
1844, removing Pierre Chow as volunteer firefighter.
Sorry, Lizette, you didn't call me on the last one.
Oh, I'm sorry, whoa.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
You want to vote, right?
You want to vote, right?
I do want to vote, yes.
What's your vote?
Yes.
1844, removing Pierre Chow as volunteer firefighter.
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
1845, revised not to exceed amount for special counsel in Chaffee versus Mayor and Council docket number BERL 346816.
I don't see one.
Point of order, discussion, please.
What's your point?
Why do we need special counsel?
We had special counsel already.
So he's been the appointed counsel?
Yes, we
Yes.
appointed him already.
It's just the amount that's being revised, the not to exceed, we've raised it because the purchase orders we have in place are about to exceed the amount that we allowed at the beginning of the year. We're not
Okay.
changing counsel, just the dollar amount.
So we're just adding another
$5,000, yes.
So what was it originally? Just refresh my...
5.
5, just, okay. Got
We're
it.
trying to keep we're trying to keep a tight rein there,
I got it.
so we're doing them low.
It's okay.
Okay, does that answer your question? Okay, I need a motion.
So move.
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorro?
You have advised I can vote on this?
Yes, I think no one's individually named in that lawsuit.
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
1846 as amended by the borough attorney. Does anyone need a recap?
Let me just state the new title is Allow Borough Administrator to Locate and Retain Counsel, which will be replacement counsel for the borough in Ellen Park versus the borough, docket number BERL 6876-17, with the same hourly rate and the same not to exceed amount stated in the resolution as is.
Point of order, I thought,
Yes.
there was a recommendation. I thought we had received a recommendation,
You received a recommendation from the borough administrator for representation of the borough clerk.
for the borough clerk.
The borough still needs a lawyer.
I see. Okay, I got
And
it.
we didn't get the responses in the RFQ.
Okay. Need a motion?
So move.
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Recuse,
O.
yes.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
1847, replacement of counsel for Councilwoman Carol McMorro and Favaro and Simon versus Borough of Englewood Cliffs. Motion?
So move.
Second.
No. What? Oh, this is a whole- we're a defendant.
Councilperson Zaversa? E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Was it silent before I voted? Was my own.
Can you come back, please?
Come back, absolutely. McMorro?
Am I allowed to vote on that?
That you're the named defendant?
No.
Yeah, you should recuse on that one.
Recuse?
M. Park?
Yes.
Wu?
Yes.
Councilwoman O?
No.
1848, replacement of counsel for the borough in Geiger versus Borough. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Who's gonna be the replacement?
Me.
I just wanna make sure that's clear.
So, can I ask you a question, why we need a...
Point of order, is that what it is?
Point of order, yes.
To
Thank you,
who?
Mayor. To the borough attorney.
And what's the question?
Why?
Why?
Okay, so without stating the reason why, the prior attorney developed an issue, and so he removed from 2 cases. And I'm not conflicted in the Geiger matter, so I'm just taking it over to do the last little loose end.
Can I ask who the previous, Mandel?
Yes.
Okay. So we didn't know about this conflict until just recently? Like, why all of a sudden?
I don't think this should...
I'm not privy to all the details,
Okay,
nor,
fine.
but you can call me,
Okay.
and I'll see what I can find out.
Let's have a vote.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
I think there's just too many conflicts, so I'm sorry, no. I think
Oh.
it's better to get outside
No.
counsel.
That solves the problem.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Wu?
Yes.
1849, replacement of counsel for Borough Clerk in Ellen Park versus the Borough, and for Geiger versus the Borough. Thank you.
I'll look at them in there.
Motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Point of order, discussion.
To who?
I could vote on one, I can't vote on the other, so I don't know why it's combined.
Because it's also, you are correct, you cannot vote on the Ellen Park part of it.
But the resolution's combined.
The resolution is combined, I understand
Let's put it
that.
to 1849A and B.
We'll take, we'll separate the resolution.
1849A would be Ellen Park versus Borough.
18-49A will be the E Park matter, and 1849B will be the Geiger matter. And I do want to also point out, as has been in the resolutions that you got last week, this is also designated counsel for the borough clerk should there be any other Oprah cases. So we're just reserving this law firm for the borough clerk.
So let's do 1849A, which is replacement of counsel for Borough Clerk in Ellen Park versus the Borough. I need a...
Second.
Tomorrow. Aversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Recuse.
O.
Recuse.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Whoa,
Yes.
okay. Now the second one, 1849.
Point of order. Councilwoman O, can I just ask what...
I don't think I have to state why I have to.
Well, I'm going to ask for the record what your conflict is, because you did vote on these all before.
On which?
Ellen Park
On
case.
Ellen Park
No, I
versus the
understand that,
borough.
it's the law firm, the counsel that you're appointing.
Oh.
Oh, okay, thank you. No, good.
1849B, replacement of counsel for Borough Clerk in Geiger versus Borough.
So moved.
Sorry, I just have to fix something. Okay. Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
Thank you. E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Recuse.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
1850, authorize mayor to sign agreement with Green Light Events for 5K race organizers.
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
1851, authorize the hiring of part-time DPW laborer.
So moved.
Second.
Who seconded?
I did.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
1852, authorize borough clerk to advertise RFPs for concession stand operator.
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
1853, appointment of a conflict engineer surveyor with respect to affordable housing.
So move.
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
1854, appointment of an alternate planner for affordable housing obligations.
So move.
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
It's 54, right? That's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
1855, authorize retention of vendor for building security. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
This is just to seek an RFQ, or?
No.
Actually, the
Well, find someone
Hold
and
on.
retain them. Hire them
but what I'm saying, this is to go out for it, correct?
And hire them.
and hire them.
We have a not to exceed of five, yes, I'll vote for that, not to exceed, right?
Right.
Correct.
Right, that's why it can be done
Yes,
without a further action of the mayor and council.
thank you.
E. Park?
I just want to say that these are allegations, accusations, God forbid.
This is not for a conversation.
I mean,
This is for a vote.
I'm torn because I don't want to spend the money and I'm not sure what's happening. But, you know, I am concerned also for the employees and everyone else, so, yes.
O.
Abstain.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
1856, authorize the Shade Tree Commission to solicit proposals for completion of community forestry management plan.
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
1857, suspension of certain provisions of ordinance number 17-12 regarding the creation of the Public Safety Director.
Point of order. I have a few questions to the borough attorney. So first off, can you hear me, Mary? Okay. Yes. First off, we were emailed this resolution, along with the resume around 3:30 this afternoon. You know, we all work. I didn't get a chance to review what the previous ordinance was. According to this new resolution to suspend certain provisions, it says the following provisions of ordinance number 2017-12 be and hereby suspended. And then it has certain provision numbers, like, for example, it says paragraph A1 is suspended entirety. I don't know what it stated in the previous ordinance. I cannot just go by this and, make a decision whether I agree with suspension of certain provisions or not. I don't think it's fair for the council sitting up here that are working, full-time, to be given something at 3:30, understand what's going on, compare with the previous resolution, and make an informed decision. So I'd like to
Respectfully,
make a
you were
motion.
provided with
I
all the
make
information
motion
before.
to table
And-
this to the next meeting, because I really don't have all the information where I can make an informed decision.
You were actually provided with everything, and then, on meeting days, folks, just plan on working on meeting days, because although the meetings start at 6:30, when we have meetings, that's the day where you really have to free up your schedule and be available to look at what is going to be discussed at that meeting. So you have to keep your schedules free, and,
So getting the resolution and the agenda at 3:30 on the day of the
mean,
meeting
you really don't need
is standard practice for you. Is that what you're saying, Mayor?
No, that's not what
I've
I'm
been
saying.
asking you for this.
you're out of order.
I'm not out of
You're
order.
not recognized. The fact of the matter is that, the fact is that from 3:30 to 6:30, I count 3 hours, okay? 3 hours is a plenty long time to read anything, okay?
And somewhere commuting back and forth from the city.
Order on the dais, yes.
Point of order. I just want to clarify one misstatement made. Councilwoman, I got that resolution the same time you did, that resolution. We got our agenda. I want to clear, you keep making misstatements to the public, to the press. We got our agendas on Friday. 90% of our agenda was there on Friday. So if you want to preface your statement and say that, that's fine. But please tell the truth. I have
Wait,
real issues.
I have a question. Who are you addressing? You said councilwoman. There are two councilwomen
Thank you for
here.
clearing that up.
And I did not see anything to the effect
Okay.
of the agenda.
You don't have the floor.
We're talking about the resolution.
All right, so
The word
look.
agenda.
There's a motion pending, or it was proposed.
Second the motion.
That you table, and there's a second. Whether or not we table this, let's have a vote, to table this, which I don't advise that we do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before we...
No.
Before we take a vote...
Robert's rules don't permit you to do this again.
No, I'm speaking.
No, we're taking a vote.
There's already a vote. There's a
We're doing a vote.
Okay, then we could do it separately.
Let's follow the rules.
Oh, okay. I'm all for following the rules, Mayor.
Who made the motion?
I did. I second.
And, okay.
This is a motion to table resolution number 1857.
Correct. Councilpersons Aversa?
Yes, the table.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorro?
No.
M. Park?
No.
Wu?
No.
Mayor, it's a tie?
No. All right, let's have the vote on the actual resolution.
Okay.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Councilpersons Aversa?
No.
E. Park?
No.
O.
I can't vote yes to this resolution. I mean, we have
It's
two
yes, no, or
litigations going
recuse.
on.
Yes, no, or recuse.
I'm sorry? Who's speaking over there?
What's your vote?
I have a real problem voting on this.
Is it a yes, no, recuse, or abstain?
I think you're bringing liability to the borough by voting on this, Mayor.
What's your vote, Councilwoman Mel?
No.
McMorro?
Do it again.
Mayor, point of order. Person Borough Attorney, Am I able to vote on this?
Yeah, how,
Yes.
yeah, really?
Anne Marie,
We want that in writing.
Order.
can you put your reasoning on the record, please? Because I'm having,
We're in the middle of a vote, you cannot do this.
well, no, she advised her yes on the record. It's on
Right.
video, so
That's
I want,
fine, I understand that.
I need to
Voted
know
that.
your reasoning.
Okay.
Put it
Yeah, on the record.
Put it on record.
She doesn't have to give your...
She
I'm
said-
going to bring this,
This
You're,
is
you're out of order.
yeah, I'm going to bring this up with DJ, you're going to have to give it to us in writing anyway.
I will.
All right,
Okay.
Councilwoman McMorro, what did you...
I'll give a confidential communication to you in writing.
Can you turn this on? It's not picking up.
We're in the middle of a
They have
vote.
so many lawsuits. This guy is absolutely right. I mean, what...
Of course she is. Of course she is.
Of course she is.
Of course she is. Of course. You put out all your propaganda.
We
Forget
got
it.
all these lawyers that we're hiring.
Carol, please vote.
And it's all coming from you,
We have a vote. You're being disruptive, okay?
My God.
You're
And
being
why are you
disruptive.
talking to us like that?
Because you're out of
very
order.
demeaning when you talk to
You
us.
get to vote, and the other people want to vote
You know
also.
what, I hope you're not talking to Councilwoman Park and me that way, Mayor, because we're women.
Yeah.
Because I see that, I see
am-
the way you speak to us.
Oh, is that where we're gonna go? Oh, that dog whistle. I hear that dog whistle. All right, forget it. Come on.
May I vote?
Yeah, she's voting, and that's all we're trying to do, is have an orderly meeting here.
Okay.
Orderly meeting, okay?
Stop. Well, guys, please, can we just get through any vote? Please.
Yeah, we just want to see a legal,
Carol, vote.
we want a legal opinion. You're
All
the
right, we have
borough
a- she
attorney,
voted
Anne
yes.
Marie.
The public has to remain in order. She's voted yes. Mark?
Yes.
Of course, yes. We're going to get to the... Whoa?
Yeah, after speaking to last week I spoke to the borough attorney on this issue, and she gave me, feedback from the judge, and, that's the reason why, this resolution, so my answer is yes.
What judge?
Mayor, 3-3.
Yes.
Another lawsuit.
Resolution 1857 passes.
Okay, 1858, appointment of a public safety director.
For the record, let me fill in, the name of the, person that, we met in closed session is Don Ingrassalino, Ingrassalino. The effective date of the appointment is to be determined by the borough administrator. And paragraph number 3 is his name, and that's why we don't have an effective date yet, because he needs to do all those things in item number 3.
Have a motion?
Point of,
And there's one other typo in here. Paragraph number 4, authorized to undertake the duties and functions set forth in ordinance number 2017-12, except for those set forth in 1857. There is a typo in that resolution.
Okay. Have a motion,
He
please.
is not to undertake those steps.
Have a motion?
So moved. So moved.
All right, then we have a motion and a second.
no, we have a discussion.
You know you heard it, so I
Yeah.
What would you like to discuss?
have to discuss this. You don't have a time frame.
Can you talk into the microphone?
You don't have a time frame. You don't have a salary. You don't have hours. You don't have anything. Yet we're gonna give somebody a position of what?
That's often the case when it gets negotiated after.
Yeah, well, that's putting the cart before the horse. Why
No,
don't we decide,
we-
so what is the guy gonna work? Is he gonna work 20 hours a week, so one day for 20 hours? Or 2 days for 10 hours? Or do we have him 5 days for 4 hours?
I think,
Yeah, we're gonna let Councilman Wu speak.
Um,
We'll get
Police
the
Commissioner.
whole
Yeah.
council with whatever
I
knowledge
think,
he has.
my thought on that, Ed, my thought on that is the public,
$50,000 waste of
Yeah.
taxpayer dollars.
my thought on that,
One
Ed,
second. Councilman Aversa, the appointment is through December 31, 2018. Only the date for him to do all of the paperwork is unknown. So the effective date is known, the end is not known, the end date is known, okay?
We don't know hours.
Yeah, I understand you, but you said we don't know a time
That's
period.
often the case.
So-
Councilman Wu has the floor. Can you please be respectful and permit him to speak?
I think firstly, with respect to the hours question, the public safety director is not an hourly position. We're hiring this as a salaried position. And based on interviews that we've had with him, he's going to put as many hours as necessary to get the job done. If that exceeds 40 hours, he's going to do it. And we had, a full vetting process. We interviewed 5 candidates. We had over 10 resumes come in. This gentleman is very qualified. He's been a deputy chief for 11 years in Elmwood Park. He has managed a police force with 45 police officers. We think that he's in a position to help us with the succession plan for the police chief, and to address many of the issues that we've spoken about time after time in our council meetings.
Yeah, just to be clear, it was actually 11 years as chief.
Right.
And
11 years as chief.
Deputy chief before that. And he basically went up through the ranks.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Councilman.
And I think $50,000, we also talked about his benefits. He has all his benefits already, so there's no extra cost. We took a very conservative approach, and it's through the end of this year. I think that's very reasonable. I know, Mary, you had your thoughts there, but, we want to make sure it's $50,000. We've had $350,000 in overtime, last year. And, when we had our budgetary meetings last year, we wanted to know how much overtime would be cut if we added 1 officer, 2 officers. The answer was nothing will be cut. And I think, we need to put someone in place to help us address these issues, someone who's who's from the inside, someone who understands the police department.
Question for Councilman Wu?
Sure.
So then you're saying that this gentleman, as public safety director, will have a direct say over the scheduling, the direction of overtime?
No, I didn't say that.
That's
I didn't
absolutely
say that.
not what he said.
I understand, but that's what the inference is, that he's going to control overtime and control everything.
That's absolutely
And
not.
that's not the case.
No.
That's my argument about spending the money
You're
for somebody
creating
to push papers around.
You're creating a very false narrative. Look,
I'm not creating
there's
a
a
false
Chief's
narrative.
Bill of Rights, which we are very respectful of. We will not infringe that under any circumstance.
So the chief will still run every day-to-day operation as
The
he
chief will
has
still run the
Yes, and
day-to-day
you know that,
operation.
because you've asked that 10
I want the public
times.
to understand that, Mayor.
Right, okay.
Absolutely, the
Right, what
chief
is the
will
person
still...
going to do for $50,000? We
Okay.
all would love to know that. I'm sure the gentleman could handle the job, that's not the
We-
question. We have a borough administrator who certainly could also handle the job, that we paid X amount of dollars for.
She's recommended this as well. And so I'd like to have a vote, since we've had a motion by Councilman Wu and a second.
I did that.
Councilman Park moved and Councilman Wu seconded. Let's have a vote.
Councilperson Zaversa?
No.
E. Park?
I'm just speechless.
It's yes, no, abstain, recuse.
I just want to say I have nothing against Mr. Ingrassalino. He seems like a very nice gentleman, qualified. But, Mayor, you keep talking about being political. The fact is, we got to his resume at 3:30 this afternoon and was said this is who was going to get appointed today. And the only people that were involved in the process was Councilman Wu, Councilman Park, and the mayor, and not one of us on this side was asked to be part of this. And so, not only the money, not only all this other stuff, I'm really speechless. So I just want to say,
You don't sound speechless.
I'm sorry?
You don't sound speechless.
Yeah, because I can't believe you're just inventing stuff and
Well,
doing,
the police committee
Anyway.
interviewed him.
Okay. So, all due respect to Mr. Ingrassalino, but, I'm gonna vote no.
O.
I just don't see how hiring a public safety director is going to solve many of the problems that we have with the police department and the mayor and the council.
Robert's rules of order.
You know what, why is it okay when Councilman Wu makes a statement before
No, that was discussion.
That's- yeah.
That was discussion.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was while he was voting. I recommend that you watch the video later. My vote is no.
Okay, good.
Council, McMorro?
I've been advised I'm allowed to vote.
I would like Anne Marie to put that on the record.
She voted
She
yes.
did already.
No, this is a different resolution, so.
You're out of order, all of you. We're in the middle of a vote.
I just need you to say you advise her
Councilman
that she
Park?
can vote, that's all.
Yes. I agree that she can vote.
Councilman Park?
Yes.
Vote,
Yes.
Mayor Tatai.
Yes.
Ordinances 2018, first reading.
10 after 10. 10 after 10.
No, we're not done. Okay. Ordinance 1801 will have a public hearing of March 14. Bond ordinance to authorize the engineering phase of Fifth Street Extension Improvements Project in, by, and for the Borough of Englewood Cliffs in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, a local improvement to appropriate the sum of $140,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, who moved it?
Councilman Wu did.
Are we doing one at a time?
Who moved it? Park?
Oh, Park, and I seconded.
Councilperson Zaversa? I'm sorry?
Yes.
E. Park?
I have a question, point of order, discussion, I don't know.
We're in
I
the
just-
vote.
Yeah, but
Point of
did you have that meeting though, with the residents? They're aware of this resolution, correct?
The meeting was held with the borough attorney.
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry,
elected officials.
Engineer and...
borough administrator,
Okay,
the engineer, DPW superintendent, and bond counsel,
with the residents?
with the residents.
Okay, yes,
Yes, so no elected officials were at the
okay,
meeting.
yes.
O.
Recuse.
McMorro,
Yes.
and Park?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
1802 has been tabled. And 1803, again, the public hearing March 14th. An ordinance amending ordinance number 1709 entitled, "An Ordinance Fixing Salaries and Wages Compensation for All Salaried, Appointed, and Elected Officers Within the Borough of Englewood Cliffs in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey." I need a motion.
Point of order. I don't understand why this ordinance is set up this way again, because you're making us decide on the entire, whether the entire ordinance, and that, I say yes to the foreman's adding to the salary raise, but I say no to the public safety director. So it's grouped up. How can I vote like this?
Figure it out. I mean, it's
Well,
logical.
no, that's not a lot, that doesn't even make sense.
You could vote yes, no, recuse, or abstain.
Yeah, there's three votes.
No, we've always
We always
them
do.
together, and, I mean, when you do amendments to salary ordinance, you sometimes...
But we don't have a public safety director as of yet, so that would be a separate ordinance.
Okay. What else? Okay. Councilman, Councilwoman Park?
Yeah.
We're going to separate both ordinances.
Okay.
So the first one will remain 1803, and that will be for the DPW. Is that the one that's first?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's public safety director.
Okay, so we'll do the public safety director first with 1803. Is that okay?
And what's the other 1804?
Then we'll do 1804 with the DPW. Okay? Okay, and they were both have a public hearing of March 14th. And I have a motion for 1803, the public safety director.
So moved.
Councilperson Zaversa?
No.
E. Park?
No.
O.
No.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
Mayor, it's a tie?
Yes.
It passes. Now, 1804, and I'll read it, an ordinance amending ordinance 1709 entitled an ordinance fixing salaries and wages for compensation for all salary appointed and elected officers within the Borough of Englewood Cliffs in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey. This is for the DPW labor. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second. Councilperson Zaversa?
Yes.
E. Park?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
McMorro?
Yes.
M. Park?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes.
That's it for resolution.
Okay, our committee reports, let's start at the end there with Councilman Aversa. Do you have anything to report, Steve?
No, nothing to report.
All right. Councilwoman Park?
I think there is some confusion as to who, is going to be, I know you came to the last meeting, Mayor, but
Which
are
meeting?
you, the Board of Health?
Okay.
Are we signing Bergen County, or are they still currently month-to-month?
They haven't provided the contract yet that we requested.
I thought that was sent to Catherine.
It was, but that's not the one that we requested,
Okay,
so I'm waiting on that.
okay.
But right now, we're month-to-month with them. What I had asked that the Bergen County Shelter do to accommodate residents in town who don't want to have any animals killed by our shelter. The problem is that Bergen County Shelter is a much nicer facility, but it is a kill shelter at times, whereas the other shelter in Cliffside is a no-kill shelter, but is not suitable. So what I asked that happen is that the Bergen County Shelter will notify us as a borough if any of our animals that were sent there are going to be killed, so that we have the opportunity to make alternate arrangements for that animal, bring it to another shelter, do something, okay? But not let it be killed. So I thought that that was a good way to deal with the issue, and they assured us that we'd get a contract. We haven't seen it yet, so. All right? So just trying to work that compromise out. Councilwoman O?
Just the other day, I believe it was Tuesday, Councilwoman Park and I also have attended the Unilever grand reopening at 700 Sylvan Avenue.
How did you get that invitation?
It would have been nice if the mayor had recognized that we were there also. Thank you, Mayor. Excuse me, I have the floor right now. Can you wait until I'm done, and I'll answer your question?
Well, you were standing with Normandy the whole time. I didn't want to recognize you.
I'm sorry? I'm sorry?
Let her continue.
No, I didn't hear what you said. What did you say?
Because you were
He was
standing
being
with
childish.
Normandy the whole time.
Yeah, I have photos of you standing with Normandy.
No, you don't, actually.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
But anyway, Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, you really have to stop interrupting us when we're speaking.
What would you like to say?
Okay? So anyway, I do want to say that, I pass this building, I don't know how many times a day, for the last 20 years, close to 20 years, maybe more than 20 years. From the outside, you would never believe what it looks like outside. It's just amazing. And one thing that I walked away from that grand opening was that, we have all these corporations that we don't really give them too much credit for, but they're just beautiful. And, the whole renovation inside, they really emphasize the sustainability, and, they're very eco-friendly. It's open space, and it's just wonderful. So I just want to, see that, and, it was great. It would have been nice to see other council members there. And, excuse me, to answer your question, I received an invite. Thank you.
No, because I didn't find one, so I didn't get an invite, so.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see you there, and I didn't see the other council people.
We didn't get invites, I was just
No, I
curious.
got one.
Did you get an invite directly from Unilever?
I don't know, I didn't check who sent it, but it was in my inbox.
Okay.
What do you want me to say?
I was just curious, that's okay.
Councilwoman McMorro, and I've got to, actually, before Councilwoman McMorro speaks to the COA liaison position that I asked her to help spearhead, our team that's representing the borough on the affordable housing litigation is an incredible team. They've worked incredibly hard over the last month. Carol's been working very tirelessly to bring everyone up to speed and kind of pick up some things, and we've had some good results, and just know that we are fighting very hard to preserve the borough, but to comply with the law. And then I turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, we had a hearing last Friday, which I attended. Mr. Serenian, our attorney, was there, Mr. Martin was there, the mayor was there, I was there. And I know, Councilman Wu, I know you wanted to be there, but you had DPW, interviews, and I encourage, all of our council members to make the time to attend every one of these hearings so they can hear firsthand, what is being said. We won the motion. Our immunity, was extended through the end of April. I'm not going to speak too much on that because we are in litigation right now. And, our adversaries are watching our every move. They're watching what we say, what we do, and that I know for a fact. So, at that point, all that matters at this point for me is, that our immunity was extended until April 30th, and, we have to stay focused on what is expected of us, be in compliance with the law, and, work with our attorneys and professionals, and I thank the council for voting unanimously to appoint and improve our team even more. I was asked by the attorneys to do two certifications on filings that were done. They're public documents. Everyone can read those. I'm not going to speak to anything else other than those certifications were filed with the courts, and if they're curious on what they say, they can either do OPA requests or go out to the court and get them from the courts. This is, for me, I don't believe there's any other issue that I've seen Englewood Cliffs face as a borough that's more important than this issue. And it doesn't matter, it should not matter what side anybody's on, but that we work together and just get everything done that needs to be done. That being said, and because of the enormous, and I will say enormous amount of time, and I take this responsibility very, very, very seriously, Mayor, I have to say to you that I have to step down as the finance chair. I cannot be finance chair and do the amount of work that is required of me as the COA liaison in where we are. So, we'll make another appointment tonight. We can talk about it, and I know Councilman Wu's on it. Councilman Aversa, you've been sent a couple of emails. You haven't responded yet to Catherine for the budget. We need your participation. You are on the finance committee. Yeah.
I think I responded that I possibly could attend.
Okay, and if you can't, we'll work with your schedule, and I will be there to help all of you with anything if you have questions. But I just feel that, we have to have another, council person, and Councilwoman O, I'm going to be making the recommendation that you take the position of finance chair, because you held it 3 times before, and that would be helpful in this situation. Anything you need of me to help from last year, whatever information I have, I'd be more than happy to work with you and get you that, but I just really want to stay focused on this, the COA and the other committees that I have, and I just want to be fair. We have a council that can get the job done.
Will you accept that?
I will consider it. I'm not giving an answer.
But we have to vote tonight. We do have to make a
I'll
vote.
consider it. You bring this
No.
up tonight at 10:20, and you want me to commit to it
All
right
right.
now?
And I'm going to make a...
No, it's okay.
I
We'll-
consider it.
It's okay, it's okay.
With
Well,
all due respect, we have two attorneys here who should probably be part of COA, if anything, and yet you put her in the finance chair, and you,
we are kind of mixing apples and oranges. COA is COA, budget is budget.
Okay, so anyway, I will continually keep everyone updated, and, you know,
Thank you. Yeah, it's an interesting session.
thank you.
Councilman Park?
Yes, at the planning board meeting, we have two sessions last month and this month. 15 Priscilla Lane generator site plan approved, and 399 Hudson Terrace, just over St. Joseph, the final site plan approved. And last week, planning board members appointed the Board of Conflict Engineer, Board of Conflict Planner, and the Board of Traffic Expert. We did it, and then also they approved the Sisters over St. Joseph resolution. That's it.
Councilman Wu?
DPW, we had interviews for full-time and part-time positions. One person, I believe, I have to double-check with Mark, I believe one person for part-time accepted the role. Also for police, we had interviews, I spoke about that earlier. At the Board of Ed meeting, there was a presentation from someone from the county level relative to the safety in the schools. A lot of the lunch delivery, we have a whole host of lunch delivery companies that are bringing food for our kids, and they're walking right into the school to make the delivery. So they're talking about setting up in that vestibule between the outer door and the inner door. They'll be able to get into that vestibule to drop off the food, but not to be able to enter any further into the school. And I think, that the timing of that obviously it's important. Doesn't even matter when the timing is, especially with what happened today. The last thing I just want to bring up is we had a really wonderful Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, show at the school, at Upper School. Want to thank John and Sally Yoon, residents of 6th Street, that spearheaded that effort and actually led, put the program together, brought in the lion dance, brought in the, there's a face mask. This guy changes his mask every 2 seconds. The kids loved it. Had a kung fu show and several different traditional folk dances. It's definitely something that hopefully we can continue in years to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I ask for a motion to close, I just want to thank Ralph Paduchik from the DPW. He's here. He's had a long day, and he's still with us at 10:30. Thank you for all you guys do. Please take that back to your colleagues. Tell them I said thank you for their hard work. Have a motion to adjourn?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're right.